this is it. This is the box. This is the one. Hopefully, I haven't really opened the box yet to know what's inside, but hopefully there's an iPhone 10 inside. And I'm really, really excited to open this thing up. So, I've been making videos on the iPhone 10 ever since August 2016. That's when I started my Leaks and Rumors series on the iPhone 8, which then ended up being called the iPhone 10. So I've been waiting for this and making videos on this prototypes and hands-on impressions with mock-ups and so on ever since, well, 15 months ago. So I'm really, really excited to finally get my hands on the actual iPhone 10. So grab some snacks, specifically some popcorn, and enjoy my unboxing and my first look at the iPhone 10. Okay, so the iPhone 10 comes in this shipping box first, so let's get it open, and we get the actual iPhone 10 box inside. So here we go, it was an iPhone 10 inside after all, well, at least an iPhone 10 box. Now on the front we have an image of the iPhone 10. Now take note, if you see a different wallpaper other than the one that's on this box, that's for the space gray model, the white ones or the silver iPhone 10 has a different wallpaper, but if you see anything different than those two wallpapers, that means that the iPhone inside and the box are both fake, so definitely keep that in mind. Now on the left and on the right side we have an iPhone branding, so no Apple logo or no X, we just get iPhone. Then we also get an Apple logo on the top and the bottom, and then finally on the back we get the capacity, which in my case this is the 256 gigabytes model, along with everything that's included inside, which I'll be covering in a second. And comparing the iPhone 10 with the iPhone 8 Plus box, there is a very big difference between the two. So as you can see, not only is the iPhone 8 Plus box taller and thicker than the 10, but it's also black or dark gray versus white on the iPhone 10. Even though both of these models, both of these phones are actually in the space gray color. Now I personally do prefer the iPhone 8 Plus box, but with the iPhone 10, since it's white, you can better make out the almost non-existent bezels right away. Okay, now let's just cut a seal. And by the way, there's a green tab on the bottom that you just pull, and there you go, the plastic wrap is easily removable, so you no longer have to cut the actual plastic wrap with a knife. And that's pretty much it. So let's lift up the box, the top, and nope. No iPhone 10 yet. So we get the Designed by Apple in California booklet, and inside that we get a few things. So the first one being the quick start guide. Hello. No one really reads those, but for the iPhone 10, you probably should, because all the gestures, everything has been redesigned. So even turning the phone off is now done by pressing the volume button. So you have to, press the volume buttons as well. So definitely give that a read. And apart from that, we also get the standard SIM eject tool. So nothing different here. And then we also get a warranty card. And finally, we get a pair of Apple stickers. Unfortunately, they're still white, so they're still not color matched to the iPhone's color like Apple does with the 12-inch MacBooks or the Mac Pro for some reason. And after you're done with the booklet, you'll see the actual iPhone 10. So first impressions when holding this in my hand are, whoa, this thing actually feels, first off, it feels amazing, but it also feels thick. And it also feels much heavier than the iPhone 8 Plus, especially since it's smaller. So I'm just going to put this to the side for just 1 second, and let's take a look and see what else we get inside the box. So yeah, as usual, we get the Lightning earpods, which, by the way, these are not the AirPods, so they are not wireless. And then we also get the adapter on the back, so we get a 3.5mm to Lightning adapter, so that you can use any headphones you wish. And we also get a power adapter, which in my case is the UK model. And no, this is not a quick charging adapter. I've actually done a separate video on which is the best fast charger for the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 8. So in case you want to see that, in case you're interested in that, the link for that is in the description. And then finally, we also get the Lightning to USB-A cable. This is for charging and syncing, but most people just use it for charging. So that's pretty much it. Nothing else left inside the box. So let's take a closer look at the iPhone 10. So going back to the iPhone 10, let me just remove the plastic wrap and listen to that noise. Wow, gotta love this symphony. Okay, so now I'm going to put the iPhone 10 for the first time, and just take a look at that. Finally, an Apple logo on an OLED display. So the Apple Watch actually had this before, but we finally have it on an iPhone as well. So finally, perfect deep black levels on an iOS device. So there we go, slide up, choose the region. And one really cool thing about iOS 11 is that all you have to do is bring your older device next to your new one, and it would automatically start transferring your data. So let me just do that now. You have to scan this Apple Watch style icon with the iPhone. Once that's done, let me just set up Face ID. So all you have to do with Face ID is just rotate your head so that it fills up this entire circle, and that's pretty much it. I cannot really do this on camera, at least not with this angle. Oh, in case some of you are wondering, the iPhone 10 doesn't actually come with iOS 11.1. It comes with iOS 11, so you'll have to update first if you want to restore from an iOS 11.1 backup. And there you go, once that's done, you'll get a few quick tutorials on how to navigate the iPhone, because pretty much all the controls or all the gestures are very different from what you've gotten used to with previous iOS devices, especially since there's no home button this time. Okay, so I've been using my iPhone 10 for about 1 to 2 hours now, so these are my actual first impressions with this phone. By the way, feel free to subscribe and enable notifications if you're new to the channel, and if you want to see more iPhone 10 coverage, because I have a lot of videos, a lot of interesting videos on the iPhone 10 coming out soon. But for now, my first impressions with this thing. So, wow, the iPhone 10 actually feels amazing in the hand. So yes, it does feel quite heavy and thick, so it's actually 0.2 millimeters thicker than the iPhone 8 Plus. And especially with a case on, this is not a thin phone. So this is how it looks like when compared to an iPhone 6s. A massive difference between the two, especially if you have a case on the iPhone 10. But honestly, I don't really care about that, as long as it fits perfectly in my hand, and as long as it has a really good battery life, which obviously I'm going to test in the next few days. Now, you might have noticed that on the back, the FCC or the CE logos and branding are actually there. So no, you do not get these on the US models, but for the European models like mine is, so since I live in the UK, this is the UK model, and you'll actually get some of the labels. Now, another design aspect that I want to mention are the actual sides or the frame of the phone. So this one is actually made from stainless steel as opposed to aluminum that we get on the iPhone 8, the iPhone 7, the iPhone 6, and the iPhone 6, and the iPhone 5. So it kind of reminds us a lot of the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 4S from back in the day. But what really impressed me the most here is that this one appears to be exactly the same stainless steel as on the Space Black or the black stainless steel Apple Watch. So we get exactly the same color, and the Space Black Apple Watch also comes with a diamond-like carbon coating. So what this means is that compared to the silver stainless steel Apple Watch, that one is significantly more durable when it comes to scratches, and this actually might be the case with the iPhone 10 as well. Currently there's a plane coming, you can probably hear that. Now, comparing the iPhone 10 with the iPhone 8 Plus, there is a massive size difference between the two. So the iPhone 10 is significantly shorter, it's less wide than the iPhone 8 Plus, so overall it's so much easier to hold in the hand. So it feels like going back to a normal iPhone, to a normal 4.7 inches iPhone, just with a much larger display, to be honest. And by the way, these are the cases that I have for now. So these are the ones from Apple. So I have the brown leather case, which looks amazing on the black model. This is probably my favorite one. Then I also have this Cosmo Blue leather case, also from Apple, which has this really nice texture, and it's actually smoother than all the previous leather cases. And then finally, I also have a white silicone case to make my iPhone 10 look white when I'm starting to debate why I didn't get a white model instead. Now, speaking of things that look good, let's talk about the display. So this is finally an OLED display, which means that the pixels provide both the color and the brightness. So essentially you get perfect black levels on this thing, and resolution-wise, the iPhone 10 gets an almost 2x increase in resolution from the iPhone 8 Plus, which had a 1080p display. So now we have a 458 ppi this time versus 401 on the iPhone 8 Plus. So essentially everything looks noticeably sharper on the iPhone 10. So I do have to say that this is indeed very, very noticeable, especially if you have a 10 out of 10 eyesight, like I do. Yeah, unfortunately I'm colorblind, so I think that pulls it out. But anyway, illumination has also been improved on the display. So essentially, the panel feels much closer to the actual glass than it was before. And even before, it was really, really good, the illumination. So text and everything looks like it's essentially floating on the display. Now, there is a slight issue with the display, so to say. So this is a color shift. So there's a color shift towards blue that I've noticed when you look at the iPhone 10's display off-axis. Now, this is something that we have on the Pixel 2 XL as well, by the way. On the Samsung Galaxy S8 and on the Note 8, I would say that it's not as noticeable as on the iPhone, but overall, it's a great display. So leaving that aside, this is a great display, and the resolution and the fact that this is an OLED panel makes it years ahead of what we had on the previous iPhones until now. Obviously, Samsung has been using OLED for almost 10 years, so it's awesome having it on the iPhone as well. Finally, Apple. Now, something that feels a bit weird is the keyboard. So it's not as wide as the iPhone 8 Plus one because, the display is not as wide as the iPhone 8 Plus. So it feels smaller. The keyboard feels smaller. And then you also get this bottom portion here, which is essentially unused empty space. Well, we have the region selector and so on, but apart from these two toggles, it's essentially unused space. So the keyboard would take me some time getting used to, but a home button actually won't. So it took me about 2 to 3 minutes to get used to swiping up instead of pressing the home button. And same goes with the notch. Once you start using the iPhone 10 for a few minutes, you'll actually forget that the notch is even there. So it's definitely not distracting when you're watching movies or when you're watching video on this thing. Yes, it is going to be, but other than that, you'll probably just forget about it. Now, in terms of the navigation has been completely redesigned on the iPhone 10. So first off, we get tap to wake now, which actually works great because, essentially, since we don't have a home button, obviously it had to be something on the display that had to be touched to activate the actual display, turn the display on. So that's tap to wake. We finally have it now, and overall, I would say that everything feels good apart from the multitasking. So this thing feels weird. So this is the only gesture that definitely needs some improvement. So there are actually 2 ways of activating multitasking. So one of them is the one that Apple actually recommends in the manual. So this is the one in which you actually slide up until the middle, and then you have to wait a few seconds or so until the multitasking bar appears. So this is really, really slow. It's really slow, and I wouldn't recommend using it. But there's also a second method. The way to do this one is much, much quicker. You just slide left or right on the bottom section of the display, and you simply swipe between apps. And then if you swipe up, so left and up, you can actually bring up the multitasking bar. So this is a much quicker way to activate multitasking. Yeah, and the initial way doesn't actually work on the home screen, by the way. So if you slide up from the whole screen, nothing will happen. You still have to wait a bit in the middle for multitasking to activate if you use the first method that Apple recommends. But this one is so much faster, just swiping through the bottom section of the display. And finally, Face ID. Face ID works. So I've only been using it for like an hour or so. So it's okay. It's not perfect. It works, but it's not perfect. So if your iPhone is sitting flat on the table, if it's resting on the table, it won't work. It won't unlock. So also, if you're too close to your iPhone, it won't work either. So you need to be about 40 centimeters or so away from your face so that Face ID can correctly see all of your face. Okay, so in the end, I'll obviously have way more coverage on the iPhone X. So if you want to see those extremely in-depth camera comparisons or speed tests and more, definitely subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified whenever a brand new, cool, in-depth video comes out. Let me know in the comments what do you want me to test, or what would you like to see in my future iPhone X coverage? What things would you like to know about this phone? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, this was it. This was my unboxing and my initial review. So overall, this is definitely the biggest change on the iPhone lineup ever since the first iPhone came out in 2007. So this is a massive change, especially when it comes to the design. And also with, Face ID, this is also a pretty big change since the iPhone 5S, since the G came out. But this is where all smartphones will be heading for. So a large bezel display with facial recognition capabilities. So yeah, this has been pretty much it. Feel free to give us a like if you enjoyed it. Let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. So thank you for watching. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Tech, signing out. Let's see if I can actually, yeah. Worked. Obviously, should work, right? Yeah. Awkward outro. See you guys in my next one. Tech, signing out.